5 lights. And away we go, Edge on pole position. Off they go, and I see he's got a decent start there. Edge got a very good one. He's clear into turn 1. Into 3rd place by the looks of it goes Silver.
Oh, and there's a car off! It's knocked Thomas into the wall. He lost a bit of his front wing.
There's all sorts of fun and games going on into the fast chicane there. Rev, oh, and Ocean Jeep get together, and off goes Ocean into the wall. So Edge,
he's getting into the nose.
About a half a second ahead of Sergio. Sergio's running a little bit wide, hitting the wall on the inside. That was a big impact. I'm not sure whether it got any of the front wing. It looked like he might have been alright. Very close now. Copy having to go to the outside of Babs as they run through turn 8 absolutely side by side. And I think he might just have this sort of side by side on the exit. They're going to be side by side, I think, all the way up towards the far chicane. Who's going to blink here? Vance on the outside, Copy on the inside. Vance. It is indeed the Extreme Gaming League. It's a Slipstream League Racing Season 2, and we are back once again with Shanghai in China for this round 3 of the SLR Season Championship. I'm Terror Incognita here very shortly, but I don't think quite now is... Oh, he is back. Here's Thimo. How are you doing, Thimo?
I'm doing great. I was waiting for the moment to interrupt your sentence, but I failed. So yeah, here I am. We're having China, as you already mentioned, of course. It's the regular 3rd round of the normal F1 2018 calendar, and we still conserve that race. And the safety car is back! Why the hell does it only happen in SLR broadcasts?
It's really weird, isn't it?
It's only happening when you're there and you're streaming. Because in when I was doing Tussarello alone, it didn't happen, and that's pretty interesting. Anyways, what are we having on our hands for this race?
So a couple of interesting things. First of all, this is the first of the races this season where there's going to be a 2-tyre split, or 2 compound split between the tyres. We've got ultra softs for qualifying, and then softs and mediums for the race. Also, according to Jason in chat, thank you Jason, we have rain mid-race and then dry again. So we might see something quite similar to what we saw in the 2SRL race last season, where it was dry to start with, it got wet, and then it went dry again. And the winner was a driver who stayed out on the intermediate tyres despite the fact that everyone else pitted and went on to ultra soft tyres. And that driver was me. So yeah.
As soon as you started, the winner was a driver who, and I was like, didn't Terra win that? Oh god, no. What is he on about?
Yeah. So maybe we'll see something like that today. I don't know. It might be... It's going to be really interesting to see some of the pit strategies. I can see, just looking down at the tyres that people have put on, we've got probably, certainly less than half of the drivers are out on ultra softs. Most are going for either a soft run or what I assume is just a recce run on medium tyres. So I don't know. It'll be super interesting.
Yeah, for drivers, I think we have 18 normal drivers showing up and 2 reserves, and those are Bayfield 22 and who was it? I did not spot the name. Maybe I got lied to. No, it's only one.
Is it Luke, or is Luke a full-time driver now? I don't remember.
I think he's a full-time driver, but yeah, he's a Haas full-time. I think maybe one driver more showed up than predicted, because it was a driver whose name I cannot say, who would have been there, but now he isn't. So I mean, that's fine.
Well, we'll work it out eventually. We can see a couple of the drivers crossing the line now. We're starting to get some times on the board. We got Hart's Keyboard Magnussen with a 1 minute 32.4. That was the fastest lap until Luke on the ultra soft tyre crossing the line doing a 1 minute 31.3. So that is our fastest lap of the session so far. Flying Jippo is stand-in according to Quouty in chat, so thank you.
I was about to say Quouty was the name I was scared to pronounce in the broadcast, and I just read it in the chat as well. So yeah, Quouty I think is a tier 2 driver, as well as Bayfield 22, as well as me.
Timo
And,
Brown. Yeah. How's you? Well, you'll get to see at least a little bit of the competition today in Tier 1. But yeah, how are you feeling about your imminent debut in Baku?
Bad, can we please talk about things that won't be complete catastrophes like this race?
Oh, I'm sure it'll be fine. It's apparently there are some quick guys in Tier 2, so it might not be easy. But
the pressure won't be on me because I don't expect anything.
Yeah, that's true. So
for anyone who isn't informed about how. Oh, okay, I'm getting PM'd. For anyone who isn't aware about how Tier 2 will be, it's we took some guys from I don't know, forums and Reddit and everything, and we took the WWRL guys, which is another racing league we have already seen at Racing Rebels tournament, and I'm getting rev bugged here. And basically the first season of Tier 2, it will be a more of a level playing field between Tier 1 and 2, and then over the season, and especially after the seasons, drivers will actively be shifted up and down to fulfill the purpose of a Tier 1 and a Tier 2 league. But Tier 2, especially in this first season, could be very exciting. And I'm not saying that because I want some exposure at my sick driving skills, which are absolutely not sick. They make me sick. Okay.
And yeah, for anyone who also is interested in checking Tier 2 out, it's all on the Discord, all the information's on the Discord, and the races are on Thursday evenings at 20:30 Central European Time, 19:30 GMT. So if that sounds good to you and you fancy getting in on some of that action, then go over to the Discord and yeah, see what it's all about.
We also are replaced there. Obviously, I can't commentate that because I'm driving. But our substitutes are the legends. I can't speak English. Bands and Ocean Chief, if I'm informed right. So that would be interesting as well. Yep. Quite a good broadcast.
Yeah, I think it's worth checking out just for that alone. It's should be entertaining. It's
we'll just be the meme team.
Yep, absolutely. Full of memes, but also it should be good. I mean, I think they'll both be pretty good. I think they certainly both are able to sort of articulate well, so I think it'll be fun to watch, and it'll be yeah. So check that out on Thursdays.
Yeah. So how are the times looking? GLOVZ the steering wheel currently on the front.
Yeah, at the moment,
Spot.
I mean, a couple of drivers on ultras are 1 and 2, obviously, and then we have Astro Boys on mediums, and that is a fast time on mediums, I think.
Holy. As your voice is slowly dying and fading into nothingness. Now GLOVZ
desperately trying to take a drink.
Yeah, GLOVZ has now made the switch onto the soft compound of tires, so he will try to improve on his own lap, I guess. The problem is, as Tara already mentioned with the tires, there's you skip the super soft tire, and therefore it's a huge advantage if you manage to qualify well on the soft tire, because then you can one-stop, whereas if you don't manage to do that, then you have to two-stop the race, which gives you like not quite 20 seconds disadvantage, but I would say like 5 to
yeah, although
10,
I mean I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a couple of people do it intentionally. I remember again 2SRL last season I did that. I did a two-stop and I did 2 sets of ultras. Rather than softs, and you can make it work if you can stretch the tires a little bit, and if you can do that, then I think that is reasonably fast. I'm not sure it's faster than a one-stop, but if you're starting at the front of the grid, it might be. So I think we might see a couple of drivers do that.
Also, yeah, Rain Dance was pretty effective.
Yep, that's true.
Baited everyone in objectively wrong strategies.
Well, that's the other thing. I mean, if we have rain halfway through the race, which it sounds like we will, then you might be better on the ultra soft tires, because that puts you in the window to stop at the right time. So yeah, I don't know, it'll be interesting.
So Bands described to me that it is going to be eventually, yeah, false friends in English. It will be maybe rain in the race, around 60% through the race, and that's just light rain, and after that it's going, and yeah, the rest is going to be completely overcast and cloudy. So
there's always a little bit of uncertainty.
It's going to be a gamble.
Yeah, there's always a little bit of uncertainty. We don't know exactly when it's going to be. and the forecast is, I guess it's a deliberate design decision on the part of Codemasters, and I actually really like it. The fact that it is ambiguous as to what's going to happen. You don't get a sort of minute by minute sort of list of exactly what's going to happen. So it is always a gamble, and you've just got to be flexible. I mean, you've got to be flexible with the strategy. If you start on softs, you might not be able to stretch the softs until it rains, which obviously means that you are pitting for ultras anyway. So it might be better just to go 2 sets of ultras, or to start on mediums instead.
Yeah, I think you're pretty right pointing that out. I think the 2 viable strategies are basically just going either for the mediums or the ultra softs, because the softs don't really... I mean, if Bans is right and it's 60% through the race, then you're not going to make that long of a distance just with soft tires without having a huge drop off in performance, and just risking sliding around and then eventually still having to pit for the ultra soft tires. So I would personally go for ultra softs or for mediums. So the soft runners might rethink their strategy, or I'm completely wrong, could also be. So I don't know.
Well,
but that's my point of view.
I think it's a guessing game, and I think I think one thing is for certain: it does diminish the advantage that you have if you're starting on softs in a completely dry race, because then you know that you're going to have a pit stop advantage on the people that are starting on ultras. But with the rain, you don't know that. It's definitely not certain. So I think it's much less of an advantage to start on softs when the weather's like this.
Yeah. The question is, I have no idea, but sometimes in F1 games from Codemasters, it happens that it is raining, but it's just never quite reaching that point of you have to go to intermediate. So now maybe we get one of these weird situations where it's kind of ambiguous, and intermediates and the soft or ultra soft compound or whatever dry compound are pretty much equally fast, and none is objectively better, and it's maybe worth staying out on the dry tires. We might get that if it's only like 1/6 of the forecast in rain. Just something to maybe think about, because normally when it goes to rain, then the rest of the race is going to rain. Most of the times.
Yep.
Just
absolutely
something
right.
that could happen.
Absolutely right. It'll be super interesting to see, and we'll see it all unfold. But talk about some of these lap times. We got gloves and steering wheel on a 1 minute 31.1. We thought we got 3 people on 1 minute 31.1 because Luke has just crossed the line and improved his lap time as well. We've also got Copy, who's gone, I think, 2 laps on the mediums and has done a 1 minute 31.7, and that is a very fast lap time on mediums. We will see whether he is able to, whether that is good enough to keep him in the top 10. I suspect it might not be because of all the ultra soft runners, but that is a very respectable lap indeed.
Also, yeah, he possibly pulled a get down from Bahrain on the others by just having such a good lap. And I mean,
yeah,
this compound is inferior by 3 levels. It's compound
that's right.
harder than the ultra soft tire. And also, speaking about get owned, I don't know if you spotted it, he actually left the qualifying session, so maybe possible connection problems there. He's still in the pits. He set a mediocre lap, so I mean,
yeah, not a very good lap at all.
Or 2.5 seconds off the lead at the moment, and just considering his past pace, he... Jason's, by the way, is serving a qualifying ban.
Okay. That was why he was able to give up give us the weather report. So thank you, Jason. Much appreciated.
Yeah. Also, yeah, I don't know if Gedon is going to be back. If you maybe remember last season, we had these issues there with Sergios. I think Kota was the critical track. Actually, he isn't. Decide, Ocean Chief. Don't know why he not set it. Okay, we have no idea. Great. Perfect. He has only got 20 penalty points, so he's not up for a penalty. We've got a penalty point system that just, depending on the severity of your incident, you get penalized for it, and if you accumulate 25 points over half a season, then you get a quali ban. I think 35 is a race ban, and Toto retires. And at 50, you might need to step down from your seat, from your role as a driver. So we don't know what is up with Jason yet. What I was about to say, Get-Own's situation might be somewhat like Sergio's last season, where he is really fast, but then, I don't know, he just doesn't get the connection to the game, because sometimes that tends to happen.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Well, 2 wins out of 2 so far for Get-Owned, and this would be a really unfortunate way to break that streak, not having a qualifying lap really set. I mean, he's done a 1 minute 33.5, which is going to be good enough only for the back of the grid. We're getting towards the sharp end of this qualifying session now. 3 minutes to go, and we can see a number of drivers, and we've the detail on the, as Please goes fourth on a 1 minute 31.7. The detail on the HUD is the tyres that they have on at the moment. So most drivers going for softs, a few going for ultras, and I would suspect that those going for ultras will be right at the front of the grid. We got a couple of drivers as well who've not set a time at all, despite not being qualifying banned or anything like that, and one of them does set a time. As I say that, Bance goes 8th on a 1 minute 32.2, but we've also got Hugo's, who I would suspect will be one of the main contenders, and he's still in the garage, so I guess he's just waiting. He's got another 30 seconds or so if he wants to set an actual lap, but I guess he's just waiting for the perfect conditions. But only one go at this qualifying session for Hugo's by the looks of it. Let's see if we can see who is on a fast lap. We got Astro Boys, who I think is just coming to the end of his lap, so he's starting one now, and he's on soft tires, so he will be, I would imagine, very fast.
According to the Discord chat of our Racing League, /AP retires now, Get-Owned, yeah, he is on an outlap. Did you mention that? I don't think so.
Ah, no, so I didn't see that. So yeah, he is on an outlap on the Williams, so there we go. As,
yeah, he said his Austrian internet died, and therefore he missed out on the opportunity. He is on soft tires, so...
Well,
or is he?
Yeah, no. He is on soft tires, I think, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. By the looks of it. Yeah. So he will be able to set a lap, and that is a relief. Gloves and steering wheel makes it a Red Bull 1-2, at least temporarily at the front of the grid. 1 minute 31.0 from him. So he will almost certainly start the race on ultra soft tyres, but from the very sharp end of the grid if things stay as they are at the moment. Oh, Astro Boy is getting all out of shape through the double left-hander.
That's actually not what I meant.
Oh, sorry.
Get-Own got a wheel on the grass exactly the same moment on the outside, and yeah, I thought he might spin out.
Triton retires from P15, so he obviously, I guess his lap got invalidated, and so he's going to be starting near the back of the grid. That's quite a disaster, but certainly a big problem for Triton, who again we expect to be challenging for the race win here today. Hartzer has gone fastest in that other Red Bull, so still a Red Bull 1-2. Hartzer with the 1 minute 30.7, first man in the 1 minute 30s. Copy goes second on softs. Very good lap from Copy, 31.027. Astro Boys crosses the line, only good enough for fifth though. 31.3 from Astro Boys. He retires immediately. And now we got
Triton
several drivers.
Spun on his last lap.
Oh, Triton spun on his last lap. Oh, Triton. That's a lot of work for Triton to do then from the back of the field, as Ocean Chief gets himself into the top 10 on 1 minute 31.8.
Hugo's also on not set a lap yet, and he's a fast boy. And what the... Oh, as Cursed is in the gravel trap.
Oh.
By the way, Cursed has Cursed is into the Toro Rosso seat. He temporarily takes that off Wimpy, while Wimpy is still on his way of recovery, hopefully. And Benz is now back into the Ferrari as a full-time driver, because he felt like, oh, if one game not so bad, and as Cursed kills himself in style.
Well, that's good to know. We got Hugo's on a fast lap, and we have what's happened in the meantime. Get Owned has gone 6th on softs, so good stuff from Get Owned. We have Hugo's coming around to complete his lap right now. I would expect this to be certainly in the 1 minute 31 bracket. I don't know how far up the grid it will be. He crosses the line, and I guess he invalidated it, did he? No, he didn't. He went 5th on a 1 minute 31.186, so very good lap from Hugo's. And I think that just about does it in this session. Please, I think, is about to cross the line. Please does cross the line on ultra softs and does not manage to improve Oh, he did improve just very slightly though, so he goes 6th. So, well, this is going to be really interesting. We do have a couple of soft runners, despite the fact that the soft tyre is just over a second slower than the ultra soft tyres. We do have a couple of soft runners in the top 5, and it's going to be interesting. We have Copy, who is the leading soft runner. He did 1 minute 30.9. That is a seriously fast lap. Hugo's also P5, 1 minute 31.1, and then Astro Boys and Get Owned, who have been among the fastest drivers in the first couple of races, a little bit further down the field.
Yeah, will be interesting to see how it will go. And normally I would just immediately call Copy and Hugo's Astro Boys and Get On to drive on another level, just on race strategy. But the rain might spice things up in a good way for their competitors. So we will see. It will be exciting. Also, I like the fact that we've got Astro Boys and Get Owned just directly behind each other or alongside for turn 1, as they are both title contenders, the closest title contenders at the moment, I think.
Yeah, plenty, absolutely, yeah, and plenty of on-track battling with the two of them, and it's been very entertaining so far this season. So we might get some more as they come through the field, or try to come through the field on those soft tyres. But it is going to be harder because the first couple of laps of the race, the ultra soft tyres will be quite a lot faster than those soft tyres. So it might be that they struggle, at least for a couple of laps, to get themselves in front.
What the hell is MacJackly on about in chat? Okay. Hell yeah, brother.
Admin is a pleb. Oh well. That's okay. Oh, as we have, was that contact between Gloves and Luke? Apparently it wasn't, so no disqualification from the formation lap. That would have been, yeah, I don't know about a big deal, but yeah, at least not a huge advantage for either Gloves or Luke, who are going to be on cold tyres, but now they're not going to be on cold tyres, so they should be okay.
Yeah. I think for the start I will have a look at the onboard of Get Owned, so you can focus on the front, and I have the two title contenders, and maybe something might happen. I'm not jinxing anything. I'm totally jinxing everything. Into turn 1, as the infamous snail corner might cause some havoc. We don't know yet. We will see.
Turn 1 in China is a very difficult corner. You've got to get, because it's such a long corner, it's either a double or triple apex depending on how you take it, and depending on who's around you, and depending on a whole bunch of things on lap 1 certainly. So we'll see whether the drivers are able to negotiate it without any real drama. What's happened on the formation lap here? Who was that? Was that Please? No, it was Was it Get Owned? Somebody, there's a Williams sliding. It's Please, okay. I didn't quite see which, yeah, it is Please, so did manage to recover himself, but
it's just warming his tyres in a creative way.
Wouldn't have done his tyres any good, that is for sure. You can see Tipsy Bob and Jason right at the back of the field, starting on those medium tyres. In total, we have 6 cars in the top 10. Starting on ultras, everyone else starting on either softs or mediums for this Chinese Grand Prix. It's a 28-lap race. We are going to have rain at some point. We don't know when, about halfway through the race, maybe. But we will see exactly what sort of mayhem that causes.
I actually feel like a real-life race with a weather forecast, because I mean, just having one of the 6 brackets for weather rainy is really, it gives you a riddle, and you want to know what's the outcome.
Yeah, it certainly does. So, here we go then. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and we are go in Shanghai. And a pretty good start by the looks of it for Hartzer, as we see Jippo going right to the inside there, diving all the way through, and a very good start from Hartzer as he leads the field away. Hugo's trying to get around the outside of Luke in turns 1 and 2. Banter's spun right up towards then Jesse, I think, as well, right towards the back of the field. Now everyone seems to have gotten through okay. Little bit of lagging. I think Triton lagged a lot there as they went through turn 2 into turn 3 and 4, and out to the inside goes, who was that? Was that Luke? As Luke has to cut all the way across the inside of the chicane. He gets himself, of the right-hander, he gets himself a 10-second penalty and falls to the back of the field as well. Triton gets 10 as well. I didn't see exactly why, but yeah, Luke got pushed all the way to the inside there. I didn't see who that was.
I didn't see anything. I just saw... oh, Tipsy as well with the 10 seconds.
Gloves almost loses it on the end of the left-hander. Tipsy retires, in fact, or leaves the session. I guess that's a rage quit from Tipsy after getting a penalty for something I'm sure that he didn't do, as the cars come through on lap 1. But at the front...
And Netluke spins out again. Late move by him, and then he got sideswiped. I don't know. Netluke is going wild. I don't know what just happened. He also gets the immediate 3-second corner cutting penalty. For the start, I was having a look at Astro Boys and Get Owned, and I just saw Please having a real mare of a start, and then Get Owned and Astro Boys were fighting a bit. I had a look to the back, and I saw that Benz got collected by, I think it was Cursed, and spun around. But then redirected onto the track. Here we've got a Williams running pretty wide.
Yeah,
it was Please.
Yeah. So at the front we have Hartzer, who leads the way. Keyboard Magnussen, who leads the way from Copy. Copy is on those soft tyres, and Gloves is pushing Copy, trying to force an error from the Sauber driver, but nothing coming so far, as Jason has managed to make his way all the way up to P10 from right at the back of the field on those medium tyres in the first lap of the race. Good stuff from him. Triton still really struggling to make any headway. He's on his way into turn 4 now, but certainly at the front we got those 2 Red Bulls who qualified very well, sandwiching Copy, and Copy very soon is going to start to get the better of those tyres, I would imagine, as well, as Get Owned is P4. Good start from him. And then Hugo's P5. I think he got a little bit pushed out wide in those first couple of corners.
Copy runs into the back of Hartzer, pushes him wide, and now he might get back off into...
He lost a lot of front wing. He lost a lot of front wing, did Copy. He's going to be really, really struggling. Didn't see exactly what happened, but he certainly hit the back of Hartzer, and now he's going to be... He outbraked himself, so Copy...
Oh, Get Owned lurking.
Side by side. It's going to be 3 wide by the looks of it as well, as they go head up towards the hairpin. 3 wide, Copy on the outside, about to be overtaken by 2 drivers. Get on down the inside as he dives up to the inside of both of them. Has to almost bail out of it, and Copy does manage to keep that position for the time being, and Hugo's gets past both of them.
Astro Boys avoids him.
So good stuff from Hugo's, managing to just be the opportunist there and take advantage, and now he's pushing Copy for the lead. What happened to Hartzer? He pitted.
Hartzer pits.
So
why?
Does he have damage, or is that tyres? I don't know. But Hugo's, in any case, takes the lead.
No damage for Hartzer
on this racetrack, as Hugo's goes around turns 1 and 2. Copy just into the back of him just a little bit. He's going to be really struggling with that front wing as we wait for the drivers to come out of turn 2. Gloves and steering wheel still on those ultra soft tyres. Going to be trying to push Copy into a mistake, as down the inside goes Astro Boys, and has to leave room on the exit, and has a little bit more room than, or a little bit more grip rather than Gloves, and does manage to get that position. So 3 now soft running drivers at the front of the field.
Triton and Cursed just got together. By the way, I'm predicting Cursed for a points paying position now.
I
don't know, and Triton now trying it around the outside of Jesse. He's trying to make his way through the field at the back, as he really got swamped.
As Gloves loses it on the exit of the right-hander and gives that 4th position to Get Owned. So Gloves now on those ultra soft tyres, really, really struggling. This is only lap 3.
And Astro Boys makes a move on Copy. On the back straight, yeah, pretty much just open DRS. Well, Copy has open DRS as well, but the slipstream he got helps him solidify P2.
Yep, absolutely. So Astro Boys up to P2. Copy has yellow front wing damage, says Etney in chat. Thank you for the report, Etney. A few other drivers. We got Hugo, Jason, Bantz, and Triton. All have very slight front wing damage, but doesn't seem to be affecting them too much, as Gloves does pit at the end of lap 3 on those ultra soft tyres. So Gloves really feeling the effects of the tyre wear in the first 3 laps of this race.
I don't know if Etney just has the eye of an eagle, or if he has...
he's got some sort of... I think I saw it on the Discord last week. He's got some sort of telemetry that gives him that information. I don't know what it is.
Right,
it's some sort of API.
Yeah, he probably has got copies telemetry or something because I mean they are mates IRL, so
that makes sense.
He's probably now copies race engineer with the eagle eyes.
So
okay.
lap 4, get owned all over the back of Copy. Copy is going to be struggling with that damage. Astro Boy's up to P2 now, chasing after Hugo's. He's within a second, so he's going to get that DRS advantage on this lap, I would have thought, as they go through the left-right complex, leading onto the back straight with a very, very long right-hand corner. Now leading on to the back straight, as Get Owned did get a reasonable run there. He got a better run than Copy did, that's for sure, with all of that understeer that Copy has. And now he's going to be looking at the back of that Sauber, trying to get alongside, and I think he's going to be able to outbrake him.
Astro Boy's with a late showing in the mirrors of Hugos. That looked like it was going to be a move, but it wasn't, and that's better that way. Yeah. Honestly, now I think Copy, no, okay, it looked like he was going to have a look to the pit lane, and but he didn't.
Ocean Chief in P5, still on those ultra soft tyres, not pitting yet, so he's going to take those another lap. And we've seen a couple of the ultras, in fact he's the last runner still on ultra soft tyres, as now Astro Boy's all over the back of Hugo's in that McLaren. As we wait for them to come out once again of turn 2, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, all within 2 seconds of each other, down towards turn 4.
Sorry, Jason has started in last position on the grid, and now he is in P6. He has gained 14 positions at the moment.
Yep,
and is therefore the one who climbed the most positions in the first 4 laps of this race by a far.
Yep, absolutely. We got Triton as well, who's clawing his way back after a really unfortunate start. He's all the way up now into the top 10. He was a long way behind, so he's 3 seconds off the back of Top Thomas on those soft tyres, and that is a train for 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th. Jason Bantz, Danny Coe and Top Thomas in those positions, and they're all catching Ocean Chief, who now is beginning to really struggle on those tyres, as we see on the back straight now. The top 3 within a second of each other. Astro Boy's not quite close enough to Hugo's this time though to get anything done. Into the final corner they go. Is he going to be having a look into turn 1, I wonder? Hugo's trying to get the best run he can, and probably not a good enough run though. Hugo's covering the inside. Astro Boy's going to have to go around the outside as Slash LP gets himself 5 seconds for exceeding track limits, as Hugo's does manage to stay in front. He went deep though into turn 1. Ocean Chief pits on those ultras from what was P5, and then Astro Boy's again just not quite able to get it done. Hugo's holding him back for the time being. Good battling between these two.
The top 4 basically. I mean, well, Get Owned and Copy not quite yet. Yeah, maybe Copy will fall off the back.
I'm actually surprised that Copy is managing to stay on the back of these guys with that yellow front wing. That is pretty impressive, because none of these guys are slow. They are holding each other up a little bit with the fighting, but otherwise they're running a good pace.
Yeah, he's really holding his ground. Oh.
As we see,
and Get On, maybe no. Yeah, the drivers always move to the inside a bit for the corner just to show themselves in the mirror of the car ahead, and that always freaks me out a bit.
Point. Yeah. So Hugo's is
I think
his teammate going to be giving him DRS here? No, by the looks of it. Astro Boy's now though all over the back of Hugo's alongside, trying to go around the outside into the hairpin. Hugo's brakes late though.
And Get On goes for the lunge.
Yeah, Get On just showed his nose up the inside there. Didn't have the momentum though. Into the last corner go the top 4. And the ghost of Tipsy Bob as well. And now down the front straight once again. Same as last lap. Hugo's having to cover the inside. Astro Boy's trying to go around the outside, but there's not really any way that he's going to get that done.
He goes to the inside for the second apex, and now he has to... But the next corner will be the one of Hugo's. Is he already up ahead again? He's cutting him off. Hugo's still by side with him. They are going out of turn 2, that is, or 3, I don't know. And now the next corner will be Astro Boy's, so that might be the move done. Hugo's still trying to hang it around the outside. Oh, he turns in to him. Astro Boys with a bit of understeer there. He's still hanging in there. Wow, this is great racing. And now Hugo's on the inside. Holy.
Good stuff from Hugo's, managing to hold off Astro Boys, at least for the time being. He's still there, though. And they're still giving each other racing room. There's barely been any contact at all. It's fantastic racing between the two of them. And now the over-under again as Astro Boys covers the inside. Hugo's has to run wide onto the rumble strip there, but does manage to keep the momentum and stay ahead, at least for the time being.
Triton has made his way past Toto in a similar move, but it actually worked in contrary to Astro Boys' move, which doesn't make the move worse, but the defending action of Hugo's was really, really great to see. But now he might become a sitting duck. Definitely, yeah, he's glued to the inside of the track here, but that won't really help him here. As Astro Boys with a DRS, oh, never mind, it helps him.
Breaks late again.
It's just...
Astro Boys has to give him it, and side by side now is Get Owned, who's going to try and put his nose in there. I don't think he has enough momentum. That he's going to compromise the line of Astro Boys as they go through turn 2, and that might let Hugo's get a break, but he didn't get a great run out there of the left-hander. And now into turn 1 once again. I think Hugo's has enough of an advantage here, though, that he'll be able to stay in front, but fantastic racing between these four. Oh, and he's done the over-under, has he? He's got it this time. Manages to get it done this time.
Hugo slings to the Get On slings to the outside and might try to do the same as well, because he doesn't want Astro Boys to get away now as long as he is still behind Hugo. So, or will Hugo's maybe even be able to do a counter move? The straight is long enough, and he will certainly have DRS.
Yeah, so, I mean, if you're anywhere near on the straight, you're going to be looking at making a pass into the hairpin. But Astro Boys does seem to have the pace at this point in the race. He's pulled out a little bit of a gap already. Not enough to break DRS, at least for the time being, but Hugo's struggling to hang on to the back of that Mercedes, and he's under pressure as well from the Williams behind him. Gedon having a little bit of a look to the inside, but again, just spotting his apex, not really thinking about making a move there, I don't think. But now, as they come onto the front straight, Hugo's will have DRS, but Gedon is going to be absolutely on him, right in the slipstream of that McLaren. Here we go then. Hugo's doesn't open DRS. What happened there?
I don't know. He closed it. Maybe he didn't notice that he closed it.
He hit the button twice, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, so that's unfortunate. That cost him a position
P2, it did. Yeah, I think it did. So Get Owned does manage to make the move. Nobody pitting just yet from these lead runners, as you wouldn't expect them to. It's going to be raining quite soon, you would have thought, as Astro Boys tries to get out of the slipstream. A little bit of draft snake as they go into turn 1, but... again, Get Owned all over the back. Yeah, Copy is managing to keep DRS. I think just because these guys are fighting, I think he's quite seriously compromised, but I think just because these guys are fighting, he's managing to stay with them.
But he's really doing a great job of not completely getting, just getting thrown to the guys behind the lead pack, and he's staying with those. So that's really great. So
what has happened while we've been watching that? Well, a couple of things. Bance has pitted from what was, I think, P6 or P7, something like that. He was on the soft tyres, so he's gone onto the medium tyres now, and he's going to have to run those at least until it rains, and then, depending on how bad the rain is, possibly beyond that as well. Triton has managed to get his way up into 6th place, though, so Triton on those soft tyres with a little bit of damage, according to Etney, as now homing in on the back of Jason, who's on those medium tyres.
And down on the back straight, and the draft snake game continues as now Get Owned is in the slipstream and the DRS window of Astro Boys. He moves to the outside. Astro Boys driving the usual defending line we've seen so oftentimes used against him. Now I think Get Owned broke a bit later, but Astro Boys, of course, having the inside line. They are still running side by side, but Astro Boys has his nose in front. Will Get Owned... Oh, yeah, Astro Boys... yielded a bit before the last turn, and therefore Get Owned makes the pass for the lead. Will there be a counter move? And Hugos is now lurking behind them. They are switching sides every time. It's Astro Boys hangs it at the outside. Get Owned trying to block him off. Hugos just seeking the gap, but he's not finding one because these two are absolutely blocking the road, driving side by side in a great battle. Astro Boys has retaken the lead for now, but get on maybe with a lunge down the inside for turn 4. No opportunity here. Quite. Yugas gets blocked in his line again. He's losing a bit of time. Copy still within the second. That's actually great racing, and if you look further down the order a bit, Triton is now within half a second of Jason and might soon be able to get past him from the very back of the grid. Both of these, basically. I mean, Jason started at the last position, and Triton has gained 12 positions. He started in P18, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think that's
Great
right.
Stuff.
Good stuff from the two of them, but also fantastic stuff from the lead group as well. It was always clean, everyone giving each other room. It was very, very good racing between the three of them, really. And I think we're going to get round 2 or round 3 or round 4 or whatever it is here, as Get Owned right in the slipstream again, has that DRS. Astro Boy's all the way to the inside. Get Owned pulls all the way to the outside. Who's going to brake later? Astro Boy's brakes very late, too late. Goes too deep into the corner and loses the position because of it. Still side by side as they come into the left-hander, but I think, yeah, Get Owned just has the position. So at least for now, he's going to be able to keep that position. But again, now it's roles reversed, as Get Owned is going to have to defend. Astro Boys goes to the inside this time. Get Owned tries to hang it around the outside. In fact, he doesn't. He does the over-under because Astro Boys goes very deep. And, a little bit of contact. And Astro Boys, again, just trying to frantically hang on to the inside of that corner. He does manage to get it done. So once again, these three... And once again, Copy managing to hang on to the back of these guys. They are all holding each other up, but fantastic racing between the three of them.
Yeah, I feel like I'm watching one exciting episode of some series or something all over again, because it's the same every lap, but I'm still excited.
Yep, it's great stuff. So lap 11 now, and I wonder when we're going to get this rain, and I wonder whether very soon on those soft tyres we're going to start to see some drivers. Oh, there's rain. There's rain. It has started.
Yeah. So, and Mac directly doubted me, but
true.
I have proof.
Timo is the prophet. And,
totally.
So is Jason, because he had the forecast.
Yeah.
But
as well
still, still, it is now raining. So it'll be a question of how bad it gets, how quickly it gets bad rather, and when these drivers are going to have to go into onto intermediate tyres, as once again Astro Boys just has to defend on the inside as they head into the final corner. We've got the added complication now of the track being very slippery indeed as they come onto the front straight. So watch for the notification that says DRS is disabled. At that point, that's when the changeover point typically is, and you are better off on intermediate tyres than on dry tyres.
Exactly, so when are we going to see that point? Do we... Yeah, we get notified about that in the broadcast.
Yeah, we do, yeah. It'll come up on screen. So we will see that. Copy has lost DRS now from the front three. I think because they've been spending a little bit of time running single file rather than side by side. We now have enough of a gap. They now have enough of a gap as Kurst gets himself a penalty.
He ran wide on the last, or like on the corner that leads onto the back straight. Got wide there and got the penalty for it.
Okay, let's check in a little bit further back. We've got, so 5, 6, 7, we've got Jason, Triton and Danico that we've seen. Behind him, Tok Thomas now marooned a little bit in his own little bubble in P8. And then behind him is New Boy Bayfield, who putting in a pretty good performance here on those medium tyres. Able to obviously keep them for as long as he needs to, because they are the most durable tyre.
We're heading on the back straight now. That is Get Owned, Yugos at Astro Boys, but it doesn't look like there will be a move now. DRS still open, obviously, but they'll have to tune back that braking points a little bit. They probably need the Terra Incognita.mp3 in their ears now to remind them of braking nice and early and not overshooting any corner. Because over driving is bad, children.
Yep, it is, especially bad in the rain. As Copy pits, so Copy's gone in early, I guess because of his damage.
Understandable.
That does make some sense. Triton pits as well. Tok Thomas has spun on the exit of the hairpin. Tok Thomas, who was P8, has spun. So that's not good news for him.
Oh, Slash LP almost bottles it in a Hamilton way on the pit entrance.
Oh dear.
I think he might have even hit the wall. I'm not
Okay.
quite sure if he is getting front wing repairs because of that. Then that's an unfortunate loss of time. Are they having a front wing? No, he's not getting a front wing. But he's
and
having a penalty.
Hugo's has passed Get Owned. We didn't see what happened there
Oh.
on track, but in the slow right-hander turn 4 or whatever it is, he managed to get the move done. So Hugo's up to P2. They're both still within a second of Astro Boys, and it looks like so Copy must have got his front wing repaired, which makes sense because he had a lot of damage. And Triton looks like he didn't, despite having a little bit of damage. DRS now disabled. So this is the point, and that probably was a good move.
Out completely locks up into Hugos! He absolutely outbroke himself there. That happens in the game as soon as it tells you DRS disabled, then you're just losing the grip immediately if the notification pops up.
And now Hugo's really struggling to get traction. Look at the struggle that both he and Get Owned are having. There's a 4-second gap now to Astro Boys. After that little incident, we didn't see whether either of them got any damage. I didn't see any bits of front wing flying off or anything like that. But at the moment, it's Hugo's has to brake very early, and he's going to hit the back of Get Owned, and that is definitely front wing, as he does not manage to get it stopped into the hairpin. So Hugo's, what happened to Get Owned? Is he?
What are these two doing?
He's just behind them, but.
Now are they going to make another contact? Get Owned does a proper Hamilton!
My goodness.
Be glad there's no gravel trap there. These two were so clean for the first half of the race, and now everything falls apart in half a lap.
You can see just how much of a struggle it is for them to get these cars slowed down, as Jason now has caught right up to the back of Get Owned after all of that, and Danico as well is sort of in the mix too. So everyone now on those medium tyres. Where is everyone going to come out? That is the question. Is Triton going to be... And yeah, Triton's all the way up in P2, so he's leapfrogged both Get Owned and Hugo's, probably as you would expect after those incidents. But he's within 2 seconds, and Copy too. But Triton is within 2 seconds now of Astro Boys at the front of the field, so good stuff from him.
He has got 10 seconds worth of penalties.
That is true. Is that a real penalty, though? That is the question.
I'm pretty sure it is. I'll have a look at the race director.
Well, I mean, in the sense that, is it going to be taken off? Because it was obviously a frivolous penalty.
Exceeded track limits. I do not know.
I'm gonna...
Let's just...
usually they get taken off, because usually what happened is that they get hit, and as Magnus... Keyboard Magnussen, aka Hartzer, is he still on those... Yeah, he is still on dry tyres. He didn't get the memo about it being time for... Unless he's deciding not to pit?
It doesn't look like this was a free decision, but I mean it will dry out after some time still. That would have been the possibility to get off your mediums.
It's so much time that he's losing now. Ocean Chief also on those medium tyres, so I wonder if he's deciding to try and do that as well, because... Has it stopped rain? I think it might have stopped raining already.
Yeah.
So... Yeah, I don't know.
He's the chief of driving on in a literal ocean. On track. I mean, not quite. I mean, he's staying on track, okay? It's looking pretty clean. He has left the track in the last 10 seconds I've watched him. Fewer times than... And now he's left the track. Fewer times than...
Obviously a struggle. Look how much later Please is able to brake than Hartzer as he just goes to the inside. There's nothing Hartzer can do. Hartzer's just fighting for his life at this point. And everyone now, it's kind of interesting because everyone in the top sort of 10 is within 2 or 3 seconds of the car in front, but nobody's actually battling. So everyone in their own little bubble, at least for the time being, and we'll see what lap times everyone is able to do. Astro Boys has pulled out more than a second on Triton though in the last lap, so Triton obviously struggling a little bit to stay with Astro Boys on those inters. I'm just looking at Hartzer. Yeah, he's got another lap, so it looks like that is the strategy. And I'm gonna... Ocean Chief! Yeah, he's lost a wheel and hits the wall on the front straight. Lost it under traction. Thankfully didn't take anyone else out as well, but my goodness. Ocean
that was
Chief.
A spectacular crash.
It was.
He did a proper Giovinazzi.
Yep, it pretty much was that. He just lost it on traction, hit the inside wall instead of the outside wall, but RIP Ocean Chief. So the medium's gambit does not work for him at least. It's not working for Hartza either, I'm afraid. He's been on those tires. It is still raining. I can see it raining.
Look at the sky in Sector 3.
Yeah.
It's looking pretty bright if you look into the distance. Oh, there's a clean cut between two shades of the blue in the sky there. Nice weather simulation. But yeah.
So we might have a battle on track very soon. Get Owned is...
Get Owned.
Yeah, is looking at Copy with interest and looking at that P3, I imagine, with interest. Ocean says Jippo tagged him. That's interesting. I didn't see that, but that possibly is the case. But unfortunate in any case for Ocean. Jippo retires as well. What happened to him?
I do not know. Jippo wasn't even near Ocean Chief. It was if it was someone, then it was Gloves. But
okay.
But there was definitely a Red Bull and not a Toro Rosso car.
Okay, I don't remember. Vance gets himself a penalty. He's struggling though. He's P12 at the moment and is some way off the back of /LP in P11. And we see lots of drivers struggling, and Hartza finally decides to pit. Gloves retires. What happened to Gloves? He was down in P70 or P16.
Oh yeah, Hartza's in the pits. Cursed is still alive, but
Has Hartza just put more mediums on?
He actually, yes, he did, and that's not going to bring him to the end of the race just out of regulation. If he doesn't ever put on an intermediate tire,
I'm not actually sure, because it might be that I don't know whether those rules get completely taken out of the equation if it's a wet race, or whether it just means that if you start on a wet tire, then you have to then you can stay on a wet tire the whole race, and that's no problem. I actually don't know.
If you use a wet tire at one point of the race, then the rules are out of power for you, and Get Owned and Copy are pretty close to each other, because I don't know. What would decide it? As soon as DRS gets disabled, as soon as there's a bit of rain?
Yeah, as soon as DRS gets disabled, I would have thought, because I know there are some regulations where it has to be declared a wet race, and once it's declared a wet race, then those regulations either come into play or don't, depending on what they are. But yeah, I don't actually know. It might be that he's able to get away with that, as we see a battle for P9 going into turn 1. /LP passing Tok Thomas.
Yeah, Get Owned is uncomfortably close to the back of Copy now.
Yeah, and being held up as well, I think. So
yeah,
obviously that battle with Hugo's will have cost him a lot, but certainly this is costing him a lot as well. Being held up by Copy, and of course no DRS in the rain. You do have slipstream, but no DRS, so difficult to overtake.
Triton fell off the back of Astro Boys a bit. I think he lost like 1.5 seconds since we last actively checked it.
Well, he lost a second. He was 2 seconds behind when he came out of the pits. He lost a second in that first lap, and since then he's lost a little bit more than half a second now. Because I guess he had a bad
just made a mess of that corner.
But or maybe not. Maybe he just went in a little bit, or maybe Astro Boys just went in a little bit deep or something like that. But yeah, 3.5 seconds, certainly within touch. But lots of work to do in the second half of this race. 12 laps to go.
Hugo's and Get Owned both are eager to get that, get the positions out of them respectively, but both are not able to do anything about that yet. Please okay, never mind. Intervals. Please and Toto are somewhat close to each other, but here obviously the 1 second doesn't mean as much as in the dry, because there's no DRS for safety reasons.
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, Thomas and Please battling for P10. /LP has managed to pull himself a little bit of a gap from the Force India, as we see Hugo's right on the back now of Jason. Around turn 2 they go. Hugo's again just not quite able to get a good enough run out of turn 2, as coming into turn 3 now Jason is driving pretty smoothly by the looks of it. Hugo's not really able to look for any sort of a gap, so he's being held up as well, and Hugo's obviously, it was both he and Get Owned that individually made mistakes that put them both behind, but certainly has cost them a lot, with Astro Boys now looking in prime position to win this race. Still pulling away from Triton on those intermediate tyres. Hugos just shows his nose up the inside there. Jason doesn't really give him room, but then is forced out wide, and Hugos, I think, will get that position, at least for the time being, as they go into the left-hander. So Hugos managing to get it done. And, and then runs onto the curb, which you don't want to be doing, certainly in the wet. You don't want to be doing it any time, but certainly not in the wet. Does manage to get enough momentum, though, I think, out of the corner. Jason now right in the slipstream, does have that battery charging, or battery deploying rather, and I think we'll get that down the inside. Hugo's not able to brake quite late enough.
Yeah, Jason pretty much broken the perfect spot to block off an immediate counter attack by Hugos without giving him the opportunity to go around his outside, and now Hugos dives into the pits.
A bunch of people pitting, so Copy and Get Owned both pitting, so this must be dry tyres. It must be very nearly time for dry tyres.
It's a second shake-up of tyres, of the positions of the order the drivers are running in that short period of time. Get Owned is going for the gamble, but it just basically depends on when in the next lap the DRS will be enabled. If it is, and it's enabled now, so that was perfect by them. And now I think we might have had we might have got a lead change at our hands. Possibly
I don't know about that. No, I don't know about that. I don't think that, because they weren't very close at all. The Copy was what, 8 seconds behind, something like that. Astro Boys, I think that'll be enough. Like, he won't be 8 seconds faster this lap because DRS has only just been enabled.
Okay, okay. Yeah,
so Triton might be in danger, certainly. I don't think Astro Boys will be, though.
Yeah, I was just calling that because I saw the pit exit and the cars there, and I didn't think about the fact that Astro Boys is really was already halfway into his lap, which of course was true. I just didn't think about it, and
well, it'll be interesting to see. You might be right. It'll be interesting to see. But I think I don't think it'll be.
Doesn't look like that.
Yeah, I don't think it'll get dry quickly enough. I'm gonna just go on board with Copy here a little bit. It's quite dry though, so I think they will certainly gain quite a lot of time here. I don't know if they'll gain enough time to worry either Astro Boys or Triton, but certainly you see on board with Copy here. He's got quite a lot of grip as he goes around the right-hander, and we'll see where he comes out.
Both got into the pit safely. China, obviously, an infamous spot for pit lane drama on the entrance.
Yeah.
Because it's quite a nasty turn. You have to nail it, and you don't really have a brake marker, and you could throw away your 2007 championship into the gravel trap, just hypothetically speaking.
Yep, absolutely. So
can happen to anyone.
So here we go. Astro Boys. Astro Boys is Triton crossing the line there. Got away with it though. So Copy has jumped.
And Get Owned.
Yeah, they both jumped Jason, but I think they were ahead of Jason anyway.
Yeah. So
Copy is still a good few seconds behind, as that's the ghost of Tipsy Bob. So Triton has managed to gain himself about a second though. /LP, something's happened to /LP. He is facing the wrong way coming into the last corner.
That's not the line through there.
So something happened to him. He was battling, I think, with... Was it with Please? I'm not sure. But he has to pit in any case, and that effectively will be his race, I imagine, done and dusted.
Toto getting caught by Please and Bands. Bayfield has driven himself very close to the back of Danico, but Jason and Hugo sit by side.
Hugo manages to go around the outside there of the long left-hander. Good stuff from Hugo's, managing to get that move done. Jason on cold tyres still. And Hugo's gets a little bit of a swapsy into the slow left-hander and loses out because of it. They're still side by side though, and yeah, Jason on the curb once again. So Jason once again loses out. I think he's going to have DRS. I'm not exactly sure who's going to have DRS. One of them will. I think it's Hugo's who has DRS. So Jason with the slipstream will still catch him, but Hugo's not quite as much of a sitting duck as he would be otherwise. Jason brakes very late, brakes absolutely perfectly in fact. Leaves a little bit of room on the exit as well. Hugo's managing to get the momentum and keeps that P5 at least for the time being. Good stuff from the two of them.
Get Owned and Copy really close to each other. Get Owned with the open DRS now on the inside of Copy through the first turn, the long first turn. Copy getting squeezed to the outside a bit, and yeah, he's getting left aside the racing line and is down into P4. Nice move by the championship leader, who would currently, if things would stay as they are at the moment, lose 10 points off his advantage he currently has in the championship standings on Astro Boys. But the race is not quite done yet. Triton might still have something to say about that. Also Triton, I don't know, maybe the penalty's not getting taken off, and Ghost gets a 5-second stop-go penalty for corner cutting.
I think...
Oh yeah, we can see him in the picture for me, at least.
I'd forgotten about the penalty. I'm going to assume that Triton is going to have that penalty taken off. I'm not exactly sure how he got the penalty, but usually a 10-second penalty is one of those where you just you lose. Oh, as Jason gets himself 3 seconds, that could be a big deal. A 10-second penalty is one where you just cut a whole swathe of the track, and he can't have done that intentionally. And if he did, then he's got bigger problems to worry about than a 10-second penalty. So I'm going to assume that Triton is probably actually racing for this position as we come into the last, 7 laps of this race. Astro Boys has a 2.4 second advantage and does appear to be holding that gap, at least for the time being. Luke retires.
I'm going to do investigations for what happened to him. Didn't spot him yet. Oh, he is dead on a... I think he retired himself, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
You don't lose a wheel at that point of the track.
Well,
Somewhere in Sector 2.
I think he was battling with Please and Bance and Toto in this group that we're watching on camera here at the moment. But yeah, not exactly sure how that could have happened. Bance now very close to the back of Please. Please thought about defending there, but decided not to. Has to give Bance that position. So Bance up to P9. He's going to get himself, by the looks of it, 2 points from this race if he can manage to keep that position.
Bayfield close to Danico in the meantime, up ahead in P7 and 8. There might be something underway, like a battle, I don't know. At the moment it looks like Bayfield has got the pace advantage on Danico.
Yeah, looks like it. Bayfield putting a good performance in, /LP on the ultra soft tyres. You would expect him to set the fastest lap of the race, and indeed he does, down in P13. We've got a couple of battles brewing here, so Triton is not managing to make any real headway on the race leader at the moment, Astro Boys. But let's not forget that Triton started this race in 18th position. It's whatever happens, it's been a fantastic drive for him to get back onto the podium. Poor Kirst gets himself another penalty. There's 6 laps now remaining in this race.
Move to the outside by Bayfield. Wow, that was a naughty move. He just broke later around the outside, and he actually manages to at least get himself in contention there side by side into the last turn. It looks like he has got the position. Yeah, he actually has. That was a nice move that Danico was certainly not expecting. And now he gets swapped back because of his unstable internet connection a bit. That is, of course, unfortunate. Bayfield getting a bit sideways in turn 1 there. That looks like that car really doesn't look unstable. It's looking like a pendulum, basically. Just going left, right. Yeah.
Struggling a little bit on traction, but does have the position at least for the time being. Danico very close to the back though. Bayfield has to defend.
Nice decoy move.
4. And looks like he's alright, at least for the time being. So Bayfield on his debut, putting in a pretty good display here. It's been clean from what we've seen on the broadcast at least, and got himself solidly in the top 10. And he is managing to hold it for the time being from Danico, who will have DRS. Someone else who's got DRS is, in fact he's not got DRS, Copy. Despite being within a second, he obviously wasn't within a second on the or by the time they both hit the line. So Copy now going to be looking at the back. Oh, 3 seconds for Triton. That is a real penalty. So the 3 seconds he had managed to... Did Get On get a penalty too?
Yeah, immediately after it.
Okay, I didn't see that. So Copy now... I think Copy doesn't have a penalty. So Copy is actually in P3. And Triton is a good, 5 seconds now behind Astro Boys. He had managed to close the gap a little bit on that lap. But the penalty will have done him absolutely no favours at all.
Danico is a bit desperate to regain his position against Bayfield. Doesn't look like he is completely outclassed by him. Toto close to Please as well, so these might fight for the last point of the race.
Yep, come down the front straight now, these two. But meanwhile, Copy now all over the back of Get Owned. He looks like he does have the pace advantage on that, in that Sauber. Gap at the front still 2 seconds, just over 4 laps to go. Get Owned runs a little bit wide, might have got himself a warning for that. Into the very slow left-hander go Get Owned and Copy. Well, this isn't a real battle. Get Owned already has 3 seconds worth of penalties. Copy
by the way,
does not. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I thought we were finished. I saw Ocean Chief's incident. He got properly punted there, but he was slow on the outside and got the swipe by Gloves. I wouldn't really point the finger at Gloves. Probably just an unfortunate situation where he gave Ocean Chief a bit of the tap with the side pod, and that just put Ocean Chief directly into the barrier.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. I mean, it's one of those because both of them presumably struggling hugely for grip. As Copy has passed Get Owned on track, by the way, for that third position. Still battling Danico and Bayfield into the hairpin. Bayfield, just squeezing out a little bit there, side by side as they go into the final corner. Danico has the inside. Bayfield has his nose in front, though. Danico has to yield. Good stuff between the two of them. With 4 laps to go, it looks like Astro Boys is going to take this one, unless something quite extraordinary happens at this point. He would have to get a penalty. Please get himself 3 seconds. He would have to get himself a penalty with Astro Boys, and also would have to lose 2.5 seconds in his last 4 laps or so to Triton. I don't see that happening.
The Astro fan base is in the chat. Got WCR people here, yep. Obviously rooting for their boy Astro Boys, who is not hashtag never lucky. Now hashtag staying positive, because I don't know, maybe he's on a moral high about F1 at the moment, and it looks like he's carrying that momentum into this race. Great performance by him so far, and I mean, he was in that really epic battle, 3-way battle for the lead, and he was the only one to not lose his cool when it started raining. Hugas and Get Owned obviously lost their cool and crashed, so yeah, nice job by him. Just staying calm and collected and staying positive, of course.
So, have we seen, does Hugas have a penalty? Because Hugas, if he doesn't have a penalty, is in 4th position right now because he's within 3 seconds of Get Owned, who does have one.
As he was from Great Britain, right? Yeah.
And the other question is, as Kirst gets himself another one, the other question is, can Triton hang on to that 2nd place? Because he's 4 seconds ahead of Copy right now. He is in serious peril of losing that 2nd place to Copy, who, as we know, is very fast, and despite having driven the first half of this race with a yellow front wing, is still in 3rd position. Get Owned, I think, is holding station behind Copy. I thought I saw him in a low DRS mode, or a low ERS mode rather, on the back straight, just trying to stay behind. I would imagine that with Hugas in mind.
Yeah, Hugas is without a penalty so far. He has got 2 warnings, and 1 warning for a collision on the opening lap, but not 3 corner cutting warnings though, as he gets a bit slidey there in the braking zone.
Well, the gap at the moment is almost exactly 3 seconds between Get Owned and Hugas, so that is a close battle for what is effectively 4th position between the two of them. Get Owned, once again, he's got his battery off as he goes down the back straight behind Copy. Doesn't want to hold both of them up by fighting. Pretty sensible, and now he is more than 3 seconds ahead of Hugas, so just doing all he can at the moment, Get Owned, to try and go as fast as he can in these last 2 laps or so. In fact, he's making a move now as I say that, so he's going to go down the inside. Copy does the over-under. This will hold both of them up though. Still side by side as they go into turn 2. Triton in the foreground will be pulling away from the two of them. And now Get Owned all over the back once again. Copy has to cover the inside. Get Owned has to go to the outside instead into turn 4. They have managed to pull away from Hugas though despite that, so that has worked out at least for the time being, and Get Owned obviously trying to... Well, I don't know. I mean, he is obviously trying to overtake, but I guess he feels he's being held up by Copy. But Hugo's now within that 3-second window once again. Albeit with 2 warnings. So just over a lap to go in this one.
Is anything else happening? Bayfield has managed to get clear of Danny Coe. Vance is in P9, please P10 taking the last point, and Toto has fallen off the back. Jesse with the next penalty, but won't really matter. So yeah.
Get on.
Oh, get out moves to the inside, yeah.
Yep, down the inside. Does manage to get that done very cleanly. But again, the problem that he's got to worry about is the one... Well, he's got Copy now all over the back of him. He's going to have to keep behind him. He's also got Hugo's as we start the last lap of the race. Triton within 2 seconds, but of course he's got that penalty and is going to be struggling, I think, to improve on his position at all. It looks like Astro Boys is going to have this one, at least at the moment. It's been a while coming, this first race win for Astro Boys, for anyone except for Get Owned. In fact, he's been there or thereabouts a couple of times now, but looks like he is going to win this one. Yeah, finally there, after being so close twice now. Wait, where did he finish in the first race? He was 3rd, right? He was either 3rd or 4th, because he... had that crash with Ocean. Yeah, he went off with Ocean Chief, so that cost him any chance of the win in the last one. I'll look it up. Oh, it is so close for 4th right now. Sorry, go on. He's equal on points with Copy, 20 points behind Get Out. So he'll close that down by a good chunk, I think 10 points. Yeah, Get Out is in P3, right? Yeah, he is. Yeah. But he is not quite because of the penalty. So he'll close it down by even more points. I think 13. Yep, I think so too. I think Get Owned is going to just about get Hugo's by the looks of it. That move on Copy did the trick in the last... on the last time down the front straight, but this man here, Astro Boy, is crossing the line, and he is going to take his first SLR victory as he does cross the line. Triton 2nd on the road. The 10 seconds of that is not a real penalty, so we'll have to work out where Triton is. I'm pretty sure he's 3rd though, because in fact, is he 3rd? Is he 2nd? I think he's 2nd. Yeah, he's 2nd, so he finishes 4.739 behind Astro Boys and is going to finish 2nd. Copy P3, as we know. Get Owned does get Hugo's for P4, and then Hugo's rounds out the top 5. Jason from the back of the field finishes 6th. Bayfield on his debut, very good performance, finishes 7th. Danny Coe finishing 8th, and Bantz, who did have some penalties. I don't know what the penalty situation is between him and Please. And Bantz does get P9. Please gets the final point in P10. So that is your Chinese Grand Prix. It was an eventful one, really good racing, particularly at the front of the field. And Astro Boys, I think, deserving the win in the end. Yeah, Triton addresses me with the fact that he will ask to that the penalty will be removed. So yeah, I'm pretty certain it will be, because the penalties the game tends to hand out are pretty random at times. I would honestly be completely in favor of getting rid of them, but then you could do just of in-game penalties, or just giving our own penalties, apart from corner cutting, of course. But then you could just dive into the pit lane without respecting the pit limit. You could just I don't know, you could take people out of course, but we could penalize that. But you could also just overtake under safety car and everything. Nothing would happen, so that's basically why we're keeping it in there. And the consequence is that we are taking off penalties that are completely obviously unjustified. And apparently was Astro Boys' first victory in a league race. Wow. So he's actually pretty happy right now. I can definitely understand that. Even though I've never won a race. I imagine that feels good. Great. Well done. Well done, Astro Boys. Getting the congratulations in chat, as he does win the race by, we think, 4.8 seconds or 4.7 seconds from Triton, who we think has finished 2nd, assuming he doesn't get that penalty at the end. So the other question is, how many seconds, without looking, did Kirst get of penalties?
Oh god, I am going to predict it's going to be 27. but I have no idea.
29. There you go.
Oh!
Very close, but yeah, Kurst does manage to get himself 29 seconds of penalty somehow.
I think he got 10 in the beginning.
No, I think he got, yeah, I think you got 10, maybe 10 in the beginning. I know he got 10 at the end. But yeah, 29 seconds of penalties. Good stuff, Kurst. That's what we like to see.
So for driver of the day,
yeah.
last time we gave it to Astro Boys, I think.
Yeah, we did, didn't we? I don't know. It's a weird one today. I think.
Yeah.
I kind of want to give it. I mean, we gave it to Astro Boys last week. I don't really want to give it to him twice in the week. Another very good performance by him this week, but I don't really want to give him 2 consecutive drivers of the day. I kind of want to give it to.
That bands.
No. I don't know about that. Sorry, Bance. I kind of want to give it to New Boy Bayfield, despite coming up from Tier 2.
I kind of want to give it to. I kind of want to give the driver of the day to Triton because he finished in P2 after having started P18.
Yeah, after starting P18, maybe.
I mean, Bayfield had a good showing, and
yeah. I think
he was good in Tier 2. Probably
yeah. Okay. No, I'll go with that. I think Triton. I think Triton does deserve it. I think it
Triton
was a
wants
great
to join
performance.
real quick.
Yeah. Bring him in. Let's get him in here. Can we? Oh, can I don't know if I can do that.
Hey guys.
Yeah,
Hey Triton. How's it going?
So yeah, I'm mixed. The beginning was bad, but I need to talk to Tipsy about that. But I don't know if you caught the penalty because
we saw the penalty, but we didn't see what it was for.
Okay, so like I don't know what happened. I'm gonna rewatch it. I don't know whose fault it was. It might have been my fault, but Tipsy and I kind of came together, and I collected him, and then he was out of the race, and I went onto that side road there. That and I went on that to go back onto the track safely, and it read that as exceeding the track limits when I don't think that's how it works. So I'm gonna talk to Ocean Chief. I didn't record it sadly, so it's gonna be harder, but I'm gonna talk and see if that gets removed. So that should be P2, hopefully.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted to explain that.
Yeah, but, no, thanks. We did assume that penalty would be taken off. We assumed it would be. It was not a real penalty. So we sort of we commentated the race with that in mind.
Okay,
but
thank you.
Good to hear that that we were right on that one because those sort of penalties are almost never right.
Thanks again.
No worries. F1. Well done.
Thanks, guys.
Well done. Cheers.
Thank you.
So that was Triton, and finished second in the Ferrari. And it's been a fun one today. Like it is nice occasionally just to have a little bit of rain to spice things up.
Yeah, really. I mean, it came in the right moment. It made things interesting, but it didn't throw anyone off completely. You guys and Get don't maybe. But I mean, it was because not because the strategic options just screwed them over without them really being able to do anything about that. They bottled it. So that's what I'm talking about. I think it was great that we had a bit of rain. SLR normally lucky with avoiding rain.
Yeah,
I wouldn't call it lucky.
Did you like the rain, Vance? Is that?
It was. I had the rain stayed waited for a few more laps. That was gonna be a great fucking strategy. Unfortunately, it came too early. It was a 50-50.
Okay.
I don't know. I got. I don't know if you guys saw turn 1, but I got spun around.
I saw.
Yeah, we saw you. Yeah, I think everyone got through eventually, but did you get like half spun in turn 1 or something?
Yeah.
Okay,
I got blasted, my wing got broken, and I got it was a nice bukake, as I would like to put it. Anyways,
nice.
So no, the rain came, and I decided to go on the mediums early when the softs were dropping off. And it was because like when I looked at the actual graphics, like in the in qualifying, it said that the rain would come towards the end of the race. So my idea was going to go before the softs were off too much, go into the mediums, and then before they were off, hop directly onto the inters. Unfortunately, the rain came much earlier than it should have, or like what it said. So it came much earlier than that. So basically, what I had done was completely counterproductive, and I lost so much time from what I was trying to do. But
Renee it's Jeff.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I was either going to be P5 or something, which is not spectacular anyway, so it's not a big issue. But, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, the front of the field in SLR is no joke. Like, these guys are seriously fast. So I think I mean, it was a respectable showing. You got shafted on strategy and still ended up in the top 10 getting points. So I think you can be okay with that. I mean, you're obviously
anyway,
not. But,
drive of the day.
Yeah. We're giving it to Triton, who came all the way from the back of the field to finish second. It was a good drive.
I think you should give it to the guy who started 13th, went down to 7th, then back up to 18th, and then never recovered.
Cursed.
Me.
That wasn't cursed, was it? No, that wasn't cursed. Okay.
By the way, just to protect my boy here, the reason he has so many penalties is because he was doing donuts at the end. Okay. So.
Okay. Yeah, I wondered if something like that was. I saw the penalties at the end, so I wondered if something like that had happened.
Okay, I actually didn't see them. I saw like a big one at the start and then 5 second midway through and some 3 seconds. So yeah, oops.
What did he finish?
Yes, 15th. I think.
15, yeah, something like that. It was quite a way down, unfortunately. He didn't come close to getting a point, but he finished. So yeah, that's the important thing.
I predicted him collecting a point in the race, and then suddenly he just dropped from P14 to P18. I don't know. Yeah.
Hey, no slacking of my boy.
Hey, I predicted him to get a point. It's a shame he didn't. Would have been cool. He would have finally been.
He's definitely gonna score. He sacrificed it for your entertainment. Okay, you can't.
He would have. He would have finally. Stop potty mouthing around. He would have finally been able to retire as a free L. That would have been cool, but no. So yeah.
It's true. Oh well.
I think we can stop the stream at this point.
F's in chat for cursed.
Oh, Astro Boy wants to be interviewed. I just read that. Can we maybe?
Yeah, we can do that. A quick one if he wants to.
Let's go SLR boys.
Yeah, bring him in. Is he in?
He's not on this. Let's go into No Man's Land.
Okay. So yeah, if you want a quick interview, Astro Boys, come on in and we'll have a quick chat with you.
Ray wrote that to me, so maybe Astrobuzz is off guard.
Maybe he actually doesn't want to, in which case that's fine too.
I do not know.
Well, he's got another 10 seconds, and then I'm going to end the stream.
Oh wait, he says which channel? No Man's Land.
Yeah,
it is No Man's
on the
Land.
SLR. There you go, Astro
Hello.
Boys. Congratulations,
Congrats.
my dude.
Hey.
So, how was your race? How are you feeling? How was the rain? Did you see the bottling of Get Owned and Hugos?
I mean, I saw it on the minimap, like, they were, like, off the track.
Yeah, it happened a couple of times.
Lap 1 was kind of chaotic. I got boxed in turn 2, that's why I spun a Haas, if I'm correct.
Oh, rip.
Sorry for him, though.
Enough look, I guess.
Yeah, probably, I don't know.
Okay, rip. F and chat.
It was a good race.
Yeah, you had a really nice battle with, who was it? Get Owned and Hugos, right? For several laps. That was really enjoyable to watch. Was great stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it was probably my greatest battles in a league race. And my first victory too. So, but I really enjoyed that moment when like half a lap we were side by side and.
Yeah, we saw that we were watching that half lap. It was really epic.
Yeah, it was.
So, anything else about the race to say? Otherwise, we would wish you good luck and congratulate you again. And then looking forward to Azerbaijan next week, which will be a blast, I guess, because of the long straights and overtaking opportunities and everything.
Yeah, I mean, not a particularly good track for me, but I'll do my best.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, good luck. Congratulations again today, man.
Thank you, bye.
Bye. So that does it for China then. Big thank you to everyone who's joined us in chat to talk about that race and some other things. And of course, remember, tomorrow we have 2 SRL also from China. That'll be at the usual 2 SRL time, so 17:30 GMT, 18:30 Central European time. And also remember, we have on Thursday evening, we have Thimo Brown and some other drivers in Tier 2 of SLR, the first of those races.
Yeah, I'm going to burst into tears.
And the man who joined us a little bit earlier too, Bantz, and also Ocean Chief casting that one. So that will be highly entertaining on a number of levels, I am sure. In Baku on Thursday evening, how are you feeling about it now?
Help me. I want to get out of here. Why did I sign up for this? I want to get off Mr. Bones' Wild Ride. Thank you. Thank you for watching, everyone. See you when I die into inner side of the wall. Bye bye.
See you tomorrow for 2 SRL and see you Thursday for Tier 2.